The head of the Reserve Bank has dismissed claims he may have covered up knowledge of bribery allegations in the bank's note printing business. In a 3-hour hearing in Canberra, Glenn Stevens has also painted a bright picture of the Australian economy. Political correspondent Greg Jennett reports.
Fill her up. Glenn Stevens' measure of these economic times comes complete with props.
I've tried to get people to see half full rather than half empty, because I do think we risk talking ourselves into more gloom than we really should.
He still sees risks around the globe, but here everything's running to forecast. Growth is reasonable, unemployment and inflation low, and the dollar?
It's just my instinct that really, it's a bit on the high side, I'd say.
One reason is that governments and central banks are buying up the Aussie dollar. Glenn Stevens describes Swiss activity as remarkable, but don't expect the Reserve to fight back in the market.
It's a big call. And it's not a call that we've felt should be made to this point in time.
The economy's performance wasn't the only thing Glenn Stevens had to account for at the hearing. He also tried to clear up what the Reserve knew and when about bribery allegations in its note-printing subsidiaries. The ABC 7:30 has revealed that in 2007, Note Printing Australia manager Brian Hood met and wrote a memo to then Deputy RBA Governor Rick Battolino, alerting him to big payments agents were making overseas. That, it said, was around 2 years before the RBA had acknowledged it became aware of the problem.
There was no cover-up.
Glenn Stevens maintains he was not shown the memo back in 2007. As for Mr Battolino not telling the committee last year about his contact with Mr Hood.
OK, I'm sorry that we didn't make that clearer earlier.
He's promising a full folder of documents once legal matters are settled, and the committee may ask him back for a special hearing. Greg Jennett, ABC News, Canberra.